We're back at you, Kane and Ice. Of course, exciting week I don't know if the games were that exciting, but of course, exciting week of championship games. Kane, we both picked the Falcons. They won. Steelers, we both picked. They lost. So we were one. Nice shirt, by the way. So, of course, brought to you by FanUp Network. So go to fanupnetwork.com. Bam. Of course, after you go to caneice.com, make sure you go there every day. But FanUp Network going to solve all your fantasy football needs and soon all your fantasy sports needs in one place. All right. Also, you can get in your app store by going to either Google, the Apple Play Store. The Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or Amazon Store. And just search FANUP, no spaces, and download the app. So anyway, let's get to it, man. Let's talk NFC first. What was your impressions of the Atlanta Falcons?
Woo, man! I'm sure you remember, 10 years ago, the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
This is similar to what I remember those boys being, man. Atlanta, that offense is, man. So many weapons, so many options, and then you put Matt Ryan, who's been pretty much the MVP this year.
Yeah,
he's on fire. This is a tough offense to stop right now.
Mm-hmm. And they attack. That's what I like. They stay in attack mode.
Yeah, and like I said, the defense isn't spectacular, but they're situational and they're good. They get a good pass rush in, so they're good enough to win. So. They don't have to be spectacular with the way the offense is playing right now.
But the defense, they're young, and they're fast, and they're physical. So
they're very, very fast. I think their linebackers are probably the fastest three in the league. If you take an average against all three of them against everybody else, that linebacking core is extremely, extremely fast. They cover a lot of ground, which begs to think, could they be overpowered in some situation? But it hasn't shown. And like I said, that offense is just so overpowering and puts you at such a disadvantage if you get behind them. That's when teams get in problems, get in trouble, and that's what happened to Green Bay on Sunday as well.
Good point. And as an Eagles fan, it's hard for me to believe we beat this team.
When I think about that, the first thing that runs through my mind is Nolan Carroll trying to cover Julio Jones, and I'm trying to think, how the hell did we do that? Was he sick that day? Did he stay at his mama house, or what?
I think that's the defensive line getting to Matt Ryan, and the pass just not being as accurate as normal. That probably was not Nolan Carroll. But hey, it is what it is. All right, yeah, I was impressed. And we both picked Atlanta to win, but I was just impressed with just the way they came out. Obviously looked focused, got the lead, just took care of business. You know what I mean? And closed the Dome in style. Like, can't ask for more than that, right? Trip to the Super Bowl to close your longtime stadium before you open the Mercedes-Benz. Is it stadium or I'm not sure what the name's going to be. But anyway, I know you have. I know you got some family members who are huge Falcon fans. So I don't know if I'm
don't remind me.
Yeah,
I'm going through it now, so I'm catching a little grit right here now. But we'll be all right.
Supposed to be taking a trip with your brother relatively soon. And if the Falcons win the Super Bowl, this might not work out.
We might have to leave him if that's the case, man.
We might have to push him into the bay there or something.
But like you said, Matt Ryan was just raised the start from the first series on. Julio really didn't even get started till the second or third quarter. Then Julio started to flex muscles then. I knew it once. I thought Green Bay's their only chance in this game would be for them to keep pace with Atlanta scoring, because I knew this was going to be a high-scoring game or either a blowout. And if Green Bay couldn't stay score for score with Atlanta, which I thought they couldn't, that's why we picked Atlanta. I knew this was going to get away from them pretty soon, which it did. And man, what about that catch from Julio, man, when he caught that crossing route and stepped out of one tackle, then stiff armed the other dude?
Yeah, I mean,
that dude ain't human, man. That dude's not human, man.
At this point, it's hard for him to do anything that just sort of shocks me because, I mean, there's a reason they traded up so far to get him and gave up so much, right?
Yeah, looks worth it now.
Right, they knew what he could be, and it's panned out. And yeah, the second half of Green Bay and Dallas showed me that, I think gave Atlanta the blueprint on how to approach, defending them. And so that's another reason I picked Atlanta was because that second half against Dallas, once the Cowboys got back to playing their game, they made the comeback and tied the game. And, of course, Green Bay hit the field goal, at the end to win it. But, Dallas won the second half. So I knew Atlanta was going to come out and just play their game, from the onset because that's all they do. They're attacking, and obviously and I think even have bigger, obviously more big play potential than Dallas and, of course, a more experienced quarterback who, like I said, is probably the MVP. So,
yeah,
everything pointed to Atlanta, and, they pulled it out. Go over to the other side of the coin. Of course, this is the most success Matt Ryan has had in the postseason. But the opposite of that is, the man who has been to the Super Bowl feels like every other year in Tom Brady. So what were your impressions of the Patriots-Steelers game?
Sadly, I thought it could go this route. I think, going back on our picks, I think I picked more with my heart instead of my head. Playing.
Well, you thought Bell was going to play. Play, and then of course he got hurt early on.
I mean that was a big that's a big negative. That made them one-dimensional. That made them only a pass option team, and the Patriots wasn't giving them anything deep. And that's the way Pittsburgh likes to attack. They like to take those shots with Brown deep down the sidelines, of course. And once the running game was taken away from them, the Patriots were pretty much just sitting back playing coverage and waiting for Ben to just try to, thread the needle and throw it into small holes, which they wasn't giving up anything deep. The Patriot way is, to make you grind it out, 12, 15 plays down the field and wait for you to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. That's what the Patriots do. They're not going to let you get a deep shot no matter what. You can take all the underneath stuff, but you're going to earn it taking 12 to 15, 17 plays to get down the field to score. Yeah. And, I'd take a guess and say there's probably not many teams in the league, maybe 2 or 3, that can consistently make those drives. And when you take away Pittsburgh's running game, bless that, D'Angelo Williams, but he's no Le'Veon Bell. Right. That showed after Bell went out that, how valuable he is to this team because it pretty much shut down Pittsburgh's offense altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Ben was real ineffective passing. He was having a bad day to start with. But when you take away Bell and, you force the weight of the whole team onto Pittsburgh's passing game, couldn't handle it. And, on the other end, Tom Brady was just Tom Brady. I mean, he does that week in, week out. Tom Brady's going to give you 250 and 2 touchdowns every week, no matter who you play.
Right.
It's up to you to force him to move out of the pocket so you got a chance to win, which Pittsburgh couldn't do. They got no pressure on Brady whatsoever. Brady was just sitting back there throwing darts the whole night.
Well, and then, of course, in typical Patriot fashion, they find another receiver to blow up.
How do they do this, man?
I think I read that dude's on like his 4th or 5th team. Hogan he's been all over.
And you go to the AFC Championship and outshine Antonio Bryant, who is supposedly the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And matching catch for catch, wit for wit, and touchdown for touchdown. Matter of fact, you outperform him.
Well, and his numbers match Julio's numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, let's make that trade, Atlanta. Go ahead. Let's trade him for Hogan. We'll
But
take
New England, they have a way of taking guys that other teams can't seem to get much out of and put them in roles where they can be stars. Because as Eagles fans, we had Deion Lewis. We drafted Deion Lewis.
Yep.
And then I think we got rid of him, and then he went like Cleveland or something and flamed out there. And was he out of the league for a little bit or something? And then came back to New England, and blew up.
We had Chung. Now he can't miss anything.
Derrick
Rowe.
Yeah, we had him 1 year, got rid of him. He goes to New England now. He's contributing on a Super Bowl team, and our quarterbacks are horrible. Go figure.
I don't understand that. I still don't understand that trade to this day.
Right, especially like he's the one dude we had with some size, but it is what it is. Now, of course, have a huge matchup. Super Bowl in Houston. New England is going to be taking on Atlanta Falcons. Now, we're not going to give you our picks this week. We're going to have a big preview show next week. So make sure you tune in for that. And also, we're going to start an NBA show now that football season is, almost at the end. So please stay on the lookout for that. But while I'm thinking about it, please make sure you click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we need your support, all right, to keep this going. So, Kane, what, out of the two games, what player are you giving respect to this week or, player?
It's hard not to give it to Matt Ryan, man. It's just it's near impossible not to give it to him. Atlanta's been struggling. Well, not Atlanta, but Atlanta and Matt Ryan have been struggling once they make the playoffs, getting out of those first two rounds. And for this year, for them to do it so emphatically, to dominate both games that they played, and Matt Ryan looked razor sharp in both. It's hard not to give respect to Matt Ryan this week, and he earned it. As great as Julio is, Julio does that every week. Every season Julio gives us that. This was Matt Ryan's year to step up, and he did it. So now you're seeing the culmination of Matt Ryan taking that next step into that next year of quarterbacks. So if he wins, if he pulls this one off, you're going to have to think long and hard about Matt Ryan being one of those upper tier quarterbacks, moving from that second tier where everybody had him at.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He's definitely elevated his game. Even ran a touchdown, and look, a little doing it. Like he wasn't lumbering.
Like
you know what I mean? He didn't look like Michael Vick, but
there were no dogs on the field.
Well, or feds.
Patrol officers.
All right, so. Or Marcus looking for cash. All right, so I'm gonna give my respect to Chris Hogan. So big ups to Hogan because I think he was with Buffalo earlier this season and they cut him, and then of course New England picks him up. So
it turns him into all
upgrade. Not only did he upgrade, cities by leaving Buffalo to go to Boston and upgrade teams and coaches. But he's blown up, and obviously, it wasn't like he was beating his man that much, right? He was just wide open a lot of times because,
like you said,
play and they confuse you.
I went back and I saw some game film or Sports Center was talking about it, and Pittsburgh pretty much rushed 3 or 4 and sat back in a zone, and they showed New England's wide receivers. They didn't have to be athletic to get open. All they did was go down the field, turn around at 10 yards, and Tom Brady hit them in the numbers. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous the way, a lot of people were dogging Pittsburgh for their scheme, saying that it hadn't worked before. Why do you think it's going to work this time again?
Right. And never mixed it up, right? Like, yeah.
Everybody knows to beat New England, you gotta put some pressure on Brady, and you got to knock these receivers off their timing routes. Right. And if you don't do both of those things, well, Pittsburgh couldn't get any pressure because they don't have the line to get any pressure. But at least play bump and run on the outside and try to, knock off some of the timing. But they were just, whatever. Mike Tomlin.
Point, James Harrison is like our age, right? So, I mean,
Literally, he is.
yeah, how much longer can this dude, I mean, they're counting on him to develop pass rush, to bring the pass rush,
Yeah, he said he's coming back too, man.
right. Um, I guess Pittsburgh just didn't have the confidence in their DBs to, go up and press these dudes, they got burned anyway. So my thing is, please take away the short route and, force Brady to be accurate down the field. But the way they were playing with that zone, they weren't cutting off the short routes, but then they were getting beat deep too. So, I can't quite figure that one out. But,
damn if you don't.
Hey, but with all that said, we got, of course, a huge matchup. Houston Super Bowl 51. We're going to break it down for you guys next week. Hopefully add a couple people, have a big super show for the Super Bowl. And maybe we'll even do like some Facebook Live stuff or something for the show or during the Super Bowl or something, So, stick with us. Keep checking out the videos. Check out canice.com. Go to fanupnetwork.com. Download that. And, hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. Let us know what you think. If you want to come on the show, we're going to have some T-shirt giveaways, some other things coming soon. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, NBA specials, our NBA weekly show coming soon. Kane, anything you want to lead the people with, brother?
No, man. Enjoy this week off of football because nobody's going to watch that garbage Pro Bowl. Watch your NBA on Sunday, relax, kick back, and get ready for the Super Week coming next week. And we'll holler at y'all. We will see you Sunday, sometime this weekend. We'll talk some NBA. We'll get into our Lakers, of course. We'll talk a little college hoops as well. We'll round that out a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, basketball. Of course, I live in the Tar Heel State, so college basketball is like the main thing. So we'll talk a little of that. Tobacco Road, we're getting close to that season. So or March Madness season is coming up very quickly. So anyway, we appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we're out.